Yeah, exactly. So once we decided on the platform, Snowflake, right, the next round was now how are we going to get all these data sources or separate data into Snowflake, right, into a warehouse where we can combine data and create data marts or data sets for reporting purposes. So we looked at a few tools. One consideration was to write the integrations ourselves, right? Many of these sources have APIs that you can reach out and pull data, Salesforce, Filevine, Meta, Google. But that required a lot of engineering, and the team here is pretty small. So we looked at some other options that could maybe relieve us from writing code on the intake side, right, on getting data into the platform, and then we can concentrate on building the actual warehouse, data marts, and then reporting. So we looked out and we found Hevo. So we looked for a tool that can do integrations with all the sources that we need to get data from, but also something that it's cost effective, right, and it's not going to be something that's kind of raised with the cost of hiring an engineer or maintaining a team of engineers to do data intake. And we find Hevo. We did a POC with Hevo, and things were very smooth. And really the integration took maybe half an hour, few minutes to set up like a Salesforce integration was very fast, very easy, right? It's very simple to set up the pipelines, get data moving, landing it up in our we're using the medallion system, like we have the bronze, silver, and gold layer. So it was very easy to land data in our bronze layer and actually see the data and be able to write some fast reporting and be able to start working on a more on the next layer, on the silver and gold layer for data marts and reporting.
Got it. Understood. So I'll probably like deep dive into a couple of more segments while we're talking about, choosing the right architecture, right? So when it comes to like a decision making for a tool like Hevo, what were your non-negotiables at that time that made you choose Hevo, or for that matter, any, what was the list of non-negotiables for you there?
Yeah, so definitely some non-negotiable points were the ease of integration,
Yeah.
connectors, right? Also observability, make sure that we can understand when something fails and we can address that easily, right? Without need to write many queries or go in some backend systems. And also very important was support, right? Like if there's anything happening in the pipeline, do we have anybody to support us pretty, on a timely basis? The other one is the speed of integration. Like data in the warehouse needed to come. Initially, the thought was at least minimum an hour, right? If we can go beyond an hour, that would be great, but at least an hour latency. So with Hevo, we were able initially set on Salesforce specifically to do 30 minutes, but then a few months ago they helped us and we're down to 15 minutes, synchronizing data down from the source into our bronze layer in Snowflake.
Got it. Understood. And how does this latency change, or even, getting these fast, your data fast in your Snowflake layer helps you in your day-to-day life and decision making?
Yeah, so definitely helps in a few ways. This allows us to have a centralized reporting, right, where we can put, for example, Salesforce data together with phone call data and make this data surface to business users, right? Before, it used to take days to produce a report because they need to collect the data from here, merge it with data from this other source, right? Somebody's do it in Excel, then put it in some PowerPoint, right? Right now, we'll be able to answer questions within, an hour or two. Any questions that the leaders would ask, we'll be able to answer those.
Got it.
And
Understood. And yeah.
yeah, on the front end, we went with Sigma as the reporting tool, right?
Yeah.
And we looked at Power BI and other Sisense, other providers, but Sigma has a very Excel-like look and feel, right? Which our users were very deep into Excel experience. So that made that made Sigma be the product that we choose to go with, in a hope that adoption would be good.
Awesome, awesome. So now that you've set up like your whole stack like this, my question would be, what kind of end use cases are you solving by the data that you have in your Snowflake and then in your Sigma?
Definitely. Well, there's a bunch of use cases. One important use case is allowing lawyers and case managers to pull data immediately and produce PDF files that needed to be submitted to courts or other entities, right? The other very important piece is understanding close to real time the spend on the marketing efforts that we have, right? It used to take days. Now we can do it in few 30 minutes an hour, understand how intakes are coming, like how conversions are going, and allows our marketing team to adjust the strategy on Meta platforms or Google platforms.